Hello everybody. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Creme Caramel Day. That's what we're going to be doing today. Very simple dessert. Easy to do. You just need some milk, some sugar, some eggs, and an oven that works. Maybe a flavoring or two. It's very straightforward. It's very popular in restaurants. You can make a ton of them with very few ingredients, one oven, and you have a dessert with a sauce ready to go on a plate. So, let's go to the kitchen. I'll show you how to do it. Creme caramel. Let's go. Put some water in a ramekin, dump it out, but don't dry the ramekins. Leave some water in there. Next, I'm going to weigh out some sugar. About 3 ounces worth, or about 85 grams if you're metric. Then, we're going to need some water. About 1 3/4 ounces or 49 grams worth of water. This is going to be for our caramel. We're going to use what's known as the wet method. So here we go. Put your sugar in a pan. Put most of the water in the pan as well, but leave a little bit in reserve. I'll show you what to do at the end. We're also going to need a bowl of cold water to cool off our pan and stop the cooking process. So stir the sugar and the water mixture on medium heat until it becomes clear. Once it becomes clear, stop stirring. If you keep stirring, you'll just start the crystallization process again and it'll be cloudy. We're aiming for a temperature of 330 degrees Fahrenheit for our caramel. Also, as a note, wipe down the sides of your pan just to make sure you don't get any scorching or bitterness. It splatters a lot. Now notice the viscosity of the liquid and the size of the bubbles when you're cooking it. Caramels can turn very quickly, so just be aware. Notice the size of the bubbles and the thickness of the liquid. We're at a candy stage, but we're going up to 330. So just notice the color and be ready to stop it at a moment's notice. We go from amber to our caramel. Now we want to stop it. So we're going to add a little bit of cold water to cool it down, but just be careful. When you add cold to hot, you're going to get a lot of steam and splatter, and this stuff sticks. So we add our cold water, that last remaining bit, and then we're going to move it right over to our bowl of cold water to cool the whole thing down and stop the process. Next, we're going to pour it into the ramekins with the water, swirl it around, get an even layer of caramel, and we'll go on to our next step. Onto the custard. We're going to need some eggs, 2 whole eggs and 1 egg yolk, and we're going to put this into a bowl. We're also going to need some sugar, about 42 grams worth, and we're going to whisk this all together with a whisk until it's uniform, and then we're going to add some hot milk that's been infused with a flavor. You can use bourbon, but I'm going to be using vanilla. Very simple. Don't want too many competing flavors, but use your imagination. So 375 mils of milk, it's been heated, some vanilla, and we're going to add the scalded milk into the eggs gradually. This is a process known as tempering, so we don't scramble the eggs. Next, we're going to prepare our ramekins into a dish that's big enough to hold all of them, and then we're going to strain off our custard. So basically, you get a container, a fine mesh strainer, and then we pour our mixture right through the strainer. Catch any coagulated bits or undesirable material that we might have missed, and then we're going to get ready to pour it into our ramekins. So we take our filtered liquid and we pour it into our ramekins right over the top of the caramel. You want to fill your ramekins 2/3 of the way. You don't want to go all the way on this one. So just take your time, try and minimize on the bubbles, and we'll go on to our next step. Once we filled the ramekins, we add hot water halfway up inside of our dish. This is a method known as a bain-marie, or indirect heat. When you're dealing with delicate desserts like a custard, you never want aggressive methods, so always try to indirectly heat things or gradually heat things. Next, we're going to cover with foil. This prevents a skin from forming inside of our custard. We put it inside of a 350-degree oven for 40 minutes, and we check for doneness when a skewer comes out clean. After that, we remove our ramekins from our bain-marie, cool them off, cover them in the fridge, and then you run a knife along the edge. This will help release them from their container, and when we plate them, they'll look really good. Put a plate on top, flip it over, give it a little shake, then we remove the ramekin, and there you have it. Instant baked custard with a sauce. Very simple, very satisfying, and it's super easy to do. So, whether it's Mother's Day, New Year's Day, birthday, a baked custard is always a welcome, refined dessert that's extremely satisfying. Hope you give it a try. Just look at that. Share, like, subscribe. If you like what I'm doing, drop me a line, support my channel. You know the drill. Take care, everybody. Cheers.